Well, good morning, everybody. This is fantastic, the turnout. Thank you so much for coming today to this important celebration and day in the history of the Mayo Clinic. The opening of the Richard O. Jacobson Building and the Mayo Clinic Proton Beam Therapy Program. In this facility, of course, we will put the primary value of Mayo Clinic to work every minute. The needs of the patient come first. This will be the right thing for our patients. The patients that need to have this therapy will receive it. This is the right thing for many children who have cancer. And our next speakers have firsthand experience with what proton therapy can do. I'm going to turn the podium over to Dr. Samir Chioli. He's the medical director of the Proton Beam Therapy Program in Phoenix and has been instrumental in moving that forward. In fact, we have one of his patients, Madison Hagen, with us today. She's joined by her dad, Dana, who will share his family's experience with us. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Chioli.
Well, thank you, Dr. Noseworthy, and thanks for everyone for coming out today. At this time, I'd like to introduce my my friend, Dana Hagen, who'll speak on behalf of the Hagen family.
Thank you, Dr. Chioli, for this opportunity to share our story, a personal story with Proton Beam, but one that we love to share. We've shared it many, many places, even on a mountaintop in the remote village of Haiti, speaking through an interpreter, because we celebrate this story. Our daughter Madison was diagnosed shortly after her 4th birthday in 2008. And so, as Dr. Chioli mentioned, she had surgery followed by chemotherapy, then a second surgery, with the next step in treatment being radiation therapy. We quickly determined that proton beam was the clear and obvious direction that we needed to go. The precision, the power, the accuracy, along with the ability to spare the healthy tissue, gave Madison the greatest chance to defeat this disease, but also the greatest chance for her to grow and to mature normally. And normal is good. Of all the proton centers available, few of them, as Dr. Chioli mentioned, only a few were specialists in pediatrics, and of those, there were only 2 available that had any openings for patients. One of them was in Boston, and the other one was in Jacksonville, Florida. And so because of the protocols, we ultimately decided to go to Jacksonville. And I know most of you are here from the Midwest, and you understand that neither Jacksonville, Florida, or Boston are close to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where we're from. And so it required us to relocate, actually split the family, with Nancy going down to Florida for the first month, and then me switching the second month. And so having this facility here in the Midwest is going to benefit so many families that will not need to relocate and to separate their family. December 15th of 2008 was an important day. It was a Monday. It was the last day of treatment for Madison, last day of proton treatment for Madison. And I remember it for a number of reasons. Number one, her and I returned to Sioux Falls that day, and there was a 100-degree temperature difference between Jacksonville, Florida, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota, literally right at 100 degrees. But that was 6.5 years ago when that happened. And ladies and gentlemen, our daughter has been 100% cancer-free from that moment on. We praise God for that. So that's why we're celebrating. Proton Beam is an amazing technology, and it needs to be celebrated, and we're so grateful for it and what it's done for our daughter. And so before my closing remarks, I would love to introduce all of you to my daughter, Madison Hagen. Madison, come on. So the last 6.5 years have been absolutely normal, typical normal family. Madison and her twin brother are very active in many activities, biking, rollerblading, swimming, with helmets on, of course. Making forts in the basement using every blanket that they can find in the entire house. Normal is good. But over the last 6.5 years, Madison's activities have included soccer and ballet and gymnastics. And for the last several years, she's been learning to play the piano. And this past year, she began playing the violin. So normal is great. We know firsthand what Proton Beam does for families. And so we thank the Mayo Clinic for building this facility here in the Midwest. We thank the doctors that had the vision, all of the professionals that have contributed to this. A special thank you to the benefactors that without them, they would not be able to make this place of hope and healing possible. Because of this facility, there are going to be countless families that have been given the amazing and extraordinary gift of normal. So, this is really Madison's speech, not mine. And so, I think, is there anything you would like to say to these people, Madison?
Thank you for building this.
Thank you.
That's 2 great speeches from Madison in 3 days. Thanks so much. Thank you all. And now we have the ribbon cutting. And Madison, please join me for the ribbon cutting, would you please?